VIP Sitdown. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a special segment in store for all of our listeners out there. VIP Sit Down, as we sit down with a very important person, marking a very special day today. Of course, today, not only Children's Day, but also Buddha's birthday or coming of Buddha. And for this, we have someone very special joining us in the studio. Venerable Wonbo joins us. Welcome to our program.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
First and foremost, again, today is a very, very special day. And before we get into Korean Buddhism as a whole, can you first tell us about the temple that you are currently in?
I'm living now in the Korean temple for long, already 25 years, and practice Korean Buddhism. I don't know what else.
Yeah, I mean, how far is it from here, the temple?
It's in Gyeonggi-do area, Siungsi.
Oh, okay.
It's a very small temple, but it's like 350 years old temple.
Oh, wow.
But it's not very special, like huge or something, very small temple.
Oh, I mean, still, it doesn't have to be a very huge temple like over in Pongsa or anything like that, but I feel like there is always something special about each of the temple. The temple that you might be staying at might not be too far from here, but you originally came from a very far away place. Tell us where you're originally from again.
I'm from Lithuania. It's like East Europe.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, how did you come into contact with Buddhism, especially Korean Buddhism, in such a faraway place like Lithuania?
So we had in 1990s we had some Zen master from Korea, Sung-san Zen master. Probably you heard this very famous Zen master who traveled around in United States and all around the Europe and created many Zen centers. And he teach Korean Buddhism. So I started to practice in his Zen center, which was in Lithuania.
In Lithuania.
Before even meeting him, first I just, through this Zen center, I find out about Buddhism, about practice.
And this was back in 1999?
This when very, very first time, it's even earlier, 92 or 3.
Wow.
I just went to some Dharma talk, this Buddhist speech, public Buddhist speech, of one of his students.
What would you say, what part of the teachings would you say moved your heart initially? Something about what you learned about Buddhism initially that must have really moved your heart. What was it? I know it was a long time ago.
Many things moved, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult to say one thing, but for me personally, it's really connected with my personal story, because when I was 16 years old, my mother passed away.
Oh.
And I had really big question. What we living for? What is this life? This kind of very big questions. And I tried like Christianity, because we are a Catholic country in Lithuania. And didn't work. I tried. We already had some other also Eastern religions like Hinduism and so on. Nothing looked like satisfying.
Right.
And then Buddhism is just one Dharma talk, one speech of, and immediately so this is not exactly that it answers my questions, but it show me way. Was very clear. It was no doubts anymore for me that I should try look at something else, because the road was very clear.
Was it right away that you felt this, or was this over time?
No, it was right away, just from one hour speech.
Wow.
Because somehow it happened that this Dharma talk was about Buddha's life. I never heard Buddha's even life before.
Right.
And this was when he had this big doubt, when he went out of his palace, and because in palace he had really luxury life.
He was a prince,
Yeah, he didn't know any suffering. But when he went out and he saw like that person, a sick person, old person, and practicing monk. So this hit him so much that he ran away after, and he himself became a monk.
Right.
So because he saw the suffering, and he had this very strong question: why are we living like this? If we know that we will get sick, old, and die, why we living like we will not become like we live forever, like we're just trying to forget. So this moment for me was exactly what I had. When my mother passed away,
Wow.
I felt really close. For me was very, I have exactly same question like Buddha had.
At the age of 16.
Yeah, when you have suffering, it doesn't matter. Even 5 years you can have this question if you have big loss, you know.
Right.
So it somehow fold everything into one place.
It wasn't, was it, would you say in a place like, again, Lithuania is a country that's more known for Catholicism, maybe a Protestant Christianity. Buddhism might be a very minor religion over there. Was it difficult to practice Buddhism in Lithuania initially?
Actually, on paper, in Lithuania is like 80% Catholics, but in reality, it's like 10%. so, and many people try many different things. Like Russia, Lithuania, like this area, they really like some kind of special practices, like spiritual something. Everybody looking for some spiritual things, Eastern spiritual things, and many kind of also weird things. But so it was not difficult because everybody was, especially at that time, like 90s when Soviet Union collapsed, and people had really like many questions, how to live now, what to do with life. So many kind of religions came and many strange teachings came also. So many people was doing many kind of practices. So it was not really very strange. It's just we just practice meditation, people understand.
Over in Lithuania, I mean, you talked about Zen centers. However, can you also find temples over there?
No temples.
Yeah.
No monks and no temples. I'm only one nun, but Lithuanian nun, and I'm not in Lithuania also. So
Right.
But now we still have Zen centers in Lithuania, and lay people just practice on their own.
Let's fast forward now. You have been here in Korea, you said, for now 25 years. What was that? What made you decide I'm going to now go to Korea?
So I practice in the Zen center. A little bit I practiced for 3 years, and I felt that I really like this practice, but I felt that I need more completely give my whole life to this practice. Not because it was very difficult. You go study or work and then a little bit practice.
Right.
It was very difficult to combine two things for me personally, not for everybody. Some people it's okay. So I just felt I want to 100% just do practice.
Did anybody oppose your decision? I mean, this must have been, again, a very difficult decision that you've made.
So from this point of view, I was lucky because I didn't have family, you know. So if I had family, I'm sure I wouldn't be able.
Okay.
So this initial suffering that I lost family later became, open ways for me.
At the time, there weren't many foreign monks. So I would assume that you might have gotten some stares in the beginning when you came to Korea. What was that like? And also to be a female monk from a different country must have been also very different.
Actually, we had already, like in Korea, in Hwagesa temple, the Sungsan Zen master himself lived there. And he had at least 20 students together living there. It was not like I was one of the first. Already, like in 70s, 80s, they started to come, especially monks from America. So they had this. It was not like I was alone there, but of course, if you go to the city or somewhere, people stare. Even now, it didn't change. People stare, but. Not like angry, usually very polite and very nice. I never experienced, in all these 25 years, I never experienced unpolite something with people. Always very, doesn't matter what their religion. Very polite, always very nice and very polite and very helpful in any kind of station. It's just the best people I meet, always best people in Korea.
You went from, again, practicing the religion at a Zen center in Lithuania and decided to make the major decision to fully dedicate your life to the religion. You've, again, no temples in Lithuania. You come to Korea. You've now arrived at your first Korean temple. Was there anything that surprised you or was new to you when you arrived at your Korean temple?
Of course, everything was surprised. From the open gates of the temple and how temple looks itself, I didn't even see, because at that time it was no internet. In 2000, I came in 2000.
Okay.
So we had no idea what is Korea, what is the temple. We just know that there are this Zen master and some monks. We can go there. So of course, almost every step something was surprising. So for me, it was very big shock when I saw. There's just at the very entrance was a coffee machine. I would never expect that in the temple could be, now it's normal, but now even don't have now, maybe have coffee shop already in the temple. but this was, because even in Lithuania at that time, in the city, we didn't have this kind of machines. So I come in the temple and I see this thing. Because we have this idea, and until now, like in the Western mind, we have this idea that Zen meditation, so monks, they live only like really closed life, they eat very little, they talk very little, they don't communicate to other outside people or some things. They don't do anything, just basically spend their days in meditation. That's why I came to because I thought I will do this. Just all day, just meditate a little bit, maybe rest and again meditate. So we have this very strong, Western people have very strong idea about Asian Buddhism, especially like Zen Buddhism.
That's not the case, though. However, even if you go to Pongunsa over in Samsung-dong, I mean, there's a gift shop right there at the temple, right?
Yeah, and somebody needs this gift shop. Yeah. It's okay, no problem.
Oh, of course. I want to ask you this because now, thanks to OTT platforms and the internet, temple food has become very, very popular all over the world. But when you first arrived at your temple, there is strict diet. There are certain foods that you can only eat at temples. How was that for you when you first was the diet okay? Was the food okay?
For me, like meat, not eating meat was normal because I didn't already eat meat even in Lithuania.
Oh wow!
So this is another thing about Western Buddhism. They become Buddhist. They stop eting meat. Most of them. So naturally. Somehow we think that should be like this. So I didn't eat meat, so it was no problem. I remember the most strangest thing about food in the temple was why rice has no salt. Why rice, at the beginning, this rice tasted completely tasteless. I couldn't understand how possible make rice without salt. Now, of course, I understand.
Right. Of course, for us, we would say, salt and rice, that's so weird, right? But it would be very different. We're going to talk more about with Venerable Wonbo and, of course, how she came about being a monk here in Korea. But first, let's take a listen to a song here from Jenny with Mantra. All right, that was Jenny with Mantra. We're here with Venerable Wonbo on the birthday of Buddha. I want to ask you this question now. How did you feel during your ordination ceremony when you officially became a monk here in Korea?
Of course, in the ordination ceremony, I felt very stressful because there's so many nuns and so many rules and how to do, where to stand and how to bow. I was nervous that not to make any mistakes. But I very vividly remember a few hours before this ordination. Somehow, because we have this 21-day training before ordination. And at the very end, we do 3,000 bows and then exam and then ordination. Exam is from Buddhist scriptures and teachings, some basic knowledge about Buddhism. But I didn't speak Korean at the time. So I didn't write any of exam. And then when we was waiting a few hours, it was like kind of free before ordination. I just got this really huge fear that I will not pass, they will not make me a nun. And this was so huge, it was so overwhelming that I was crying non-stop. I was crying all the time until I couldn't stop. Like really, I was sure that they will not let me to ordain. But like...
What was more difficult, the 3,000 bows or the test in itself? I feel like 3,000 bow is just physically demanding.
I mean, test... I couldn't even try it because I completely no knowledge, very basic knowledge of Korean, so I couldn't even read. So I just sit, It's not difficult. I just, but 3,000 bows. It sounds difficult, but when you try and you finish at least half of this, you feel like you can fly.
Wow.
You can do everything.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You can try.
I want to say this. I'm learning for the first time. So a female monk would be called a nun. Is that correct?
I mean, yeah, it depends. Some people also call monk.
Okay.
It's not really clear, not strict rule about this.
Okay.
I mean, because Buddhism, sometimes they just call monks everybody, nuns, and
right.
But we just, for distinction ourselves, we call nuns and monks, then it's more clear.
So I want to now ask you this now. What is the most distinctive characteristics of Korean Buddhism? I do understand that when it comes to Buddhism, there are many different branches. There are many different kinds of Buddhism. What is the distinct characteristics of Korean Buddhism?
Very distinct is that from very early, Korean Buddhism started to incorporate all kinds of teachings, not like one sect, but any kind of sects and like practice, and also study sutras, not separately, because some countries is just like very separately, but they more incorporate, and make it like in Korean they call it Tongbulgo, Tongbulgo,
Okay.
like everything connected and everything can help you to attain enlightenment. It's not that just you do one thing, maybe read sutra and then get enlightenment or meditation. Of course, you can do this also, but it's more like everything in one. You can do in everything. It helps you. So this is very distinct thing about Buddhism in Korea. And the other thing, if I have more time.
Oh, no, you have a lot of time, yes.
So I think because in Korea it's Son Buddhism, very special, very strong, especially in main sect, like Chogi order sect. Son, in West we more know like Zen Buddhism. But the Son Buddhism is very unique, I think, in Korea because it's very strong emphasizing inquiry, asking, who am I? Wow. This is very strong practice, actually. So this practice just goes straight to your mind without any scriptures or without anything else. No need to be added. Nothing else. So just who am I? And this other parts of Buddhism and even not Buddhism have this kind of practice, but not so strongly emphasized. And I think it's very strong about Korean Buddhism to have this tradition about inquiring yourself during meditation, and not only during meditation. Who am I? Or what is this?
I feel like in some ways you can say that that's the easy question, who am I? But that's also the hardest question, knowing who you really are. And to delve into that, it's just a remarkable thing.
Yes, because if we try to answer with mind, give some what we learn about or what we think about us from our form or our, I don't know, names. This is not this. Behind all forms, behind all names, who am I?
Right.
And this is not, you cannot put in the words. You cannot put in the words answer, you cannot.
And that's what makes it so difficult. And that's why for many people it takes years and years and
years.
Yes,
Of course, yes.
To fully understand who you are. You have met over the years many followers of the Korean Buddhism. How are Korean Buddhists overall?
There are three kinds of Korean Buddhism.
Oh, really?
Buddhists.
Really? 3 kinds, wow.
Maybe more, but from my observation,
Sure.
There are people who only go to temple for fun. So chole no lokaya. So there are big group of people like this.
Right.
Then there are people who are Buddhist because their family members, especially like mother, father, were Buddhist, and they are automatically Buddhist, but they don't know so much. But
same with Christianity.
That's true. Yes. So that's why we also have like 70%. But same.
Right.
But they go to temples, these people, they go. And the third group is people who practice and
devout.
A little bit, sadly, this group is smallest. From my observation, I hope it will grow. but the smallest, this, who really seriously like practice.
In Buddhism, they say that life is a sea of suffering. Can you explain what that means, a sea of suffering?
So Buddha taught, he just said few things actually. This is main topic of the Buddha's teaching. I teach about suffering and how to finish the suffering. So when we're born, we have naturally, nobody can avoid 4 kinds of suffering. Birth, birth is suffering.
Of course.
No? Yeah, we cry.
My wife
Even,
suffered twice.
But also child already born not smiling or laughing, but crying.
Right.
I mean, birth, and then, of course, sickness and old age and death. And there are 4 more suffering. There are, nobody in no situation can escape for other 4 sufferings. So then is being with people or being in situation or getting things which you don't want.
Right.
No, unpleasant things, unpleasant people. And then being separated from pleasant things and pleasant people. And then also disharmony. There are in the body, so body and mind disharmony. So it's also especially like some kind of mind sickness. How to say?
Yeah. Mental yes.
Sickness. So this kind of disharmony.
That's very difficult. I mean, that's a lot of sufferings, right? I mean, we also talk about like money-wise too, financial
and another
suffering.
thing, the last thing of this 4 is that when you cannot get something what you want. So these things everybody experience, but of course we don't like in English this word suffering is really like strong word. It's really huge, something like war happened, or somebody die. But instead of suffering, sometimes we call this unsatisfaction. And if we look at our day by day, during day, there are many moments when we're not satisfied with this moment. If we're not satisfied, I don't like, person who sits in front of me. I don't like where I sit. Maybe I don't like coffee I drink. I don't like food I drink. So all these countless things, what we don't like. And this automatically brings to us some kind of smaller or bigger suffering.
And then, of course, eventually at the end, you learn to sort of escape from that suffering is the teachings of the Buddha.
No, you cannot escape.
Oh, really?
There's no way. You cannot escape like sickness or death.
Ease the pain?
No, you just, first of all, when you experience the suffering, you don't put more suffering on yourself saying, why I am experiencing this? Why I'm getting this? I am so good person, or I'm this. Or, it's very common for people to say, I lived so sincerely, and why I get this big sickness? It's very common. Why me? Why me? So this means you put one more suffering on already existing suffering.
Right.
You put one more suffering. So first thing it's important to understand this 8 kinds of sufferings you cannot avoid. Nobody can avoid. You will get it. So when you get it, you cannot resist, you cannot fight, you cannot throw it away. So accept. And of course, you maybe, if very big sickness, you can have pain, you can cry, you can feel very uncomfortable. But then you watch your mind, You don't identify completely with the suffering. You not become like I suffering, not I'm suffering. Just my body or my maybe mind experience uncomfortable situation. Then it's different. You not identified with this, but you're looking a little bit from outside. And you're not becoming exactly like 100% inside of the suffering. You
also connect with the public through your YouTube channel. What do you want to convey to the people through your platform there?
Very minimal, actually. I not do a lot. But I don't want teach something, or give some Buddha's teaching. It's not the purpose. Just purpose is maybe because I remember when I was was in difficult situation and really, really looking for answers, and it's very difficult to find, So just this, what I do on YouTube, so for people who like really have questions, but don't know, or have some kind of suffering inside, but they don't know Buddhism, and they don't know what to do. It looks like nothing works, and everything hopeless. Mm-hmm. So this kind of, maybe some people to show the way. Oh, maybe, wow, there are these kinds of things. We can look at suffering like this also.
And you say that breathing is an important way to sort of kind of escape, or I guess reduce the suffering. Can you explain that?
Breathing actually base is for many spiritual practices. Mm-hmm. Breathing is very important practice for many kind of religions. But we can try ourselves. Sometimes when we're really lost in suffering, we cannot think clearly. No. We cannot see clearly. We just completely in some dark cloud. Mm-hmm, we even don't see what is in front of us. But this breathing have amazing how it works. It's enough just one time, very consciously, just breathe in and just watch. You breathe in without any thinking, just watch 100%. Breathe in and breathe out. Already immediately you can feel how many things fall down from you. This dark cloud.
That's why when something bad happens, the first thing that they tell you is take a breath first. Take a breath.
Yeah, but they say this. They say this, but it's not. It's like it's a little bit artificial how they say this. Just breathe. It's not really. You need to really watch the breath.
Right. Feel it.
Just see how this enter your body, how it's traveling, and how it's enter. Then it's completely different.
Right. And so meditation is a very, very important part of all this. We'll continue to talk about, again, the practice behind the Venerable Wonbo here. But first, let's take a listen to a song here from N- with Karma. And that was N- with Karma. We are joined by Venerable Wonbo on the coming of Buddha's birthday on the May 5th here. I want to ask you this. You talked about how there are a number of Zen centers in Lithuania. Would you say that there is much interest amongst Lithuanians in Korean Buddhism, or is it still a very a minor number?
I would say not specifically maybe in Korean Buddhism. People just looking for some kind of practice. Mm-hmm. Because, and I don't want to insult anybody, but in Catholicism, from my experience, there are not so many like what you can do, like really practice. Mm-hmm. Just believe, pray, but nobody not clear how to do this. Right. No? But in Buddhism, you immediately get very clear instruction, how to sit, what to do, this, what your mind makes everything, all these things. People really attracted to this. And so it's not so much about like Korean Buddhism, doesn't matter for them actually. Mm-hmm. For them it's too important to find some kind of practice. But Korean Buddhism have very clear practice, as I said before about this inquiring, very clear practice. So that's why many people come to Zen centers because of this.
You have lived in Korea for 25 years. You've been practicing Buddhism in Korea for 25 years. Just overall, what kind of country is Korea to you? I almost feel like maybe Korea seems like your home country more than Lithuania now, maybe, because you've been here for such a long time.
Now I understand Korea more than Lithuania. Actually, that's why I'm doing this YouTube. What I do not in Lithuanian but in Korean, because right. I feel closely more to Korean people, and of course I feel huge really gratefulness to Korea that I could come and could practice, and all the possibilities in practice just. Cannot even express how huge grateful mind I have to Korea because of this.
Korean society, I know this is going to get a little bit serious here, but we're looking at a bit of a turmoil, a state of turmoil right now. There's a lot of hate, a lot of conflict amongst people due to the political tensions right now. Could you maybe tell us what kind of mindset we should have in times like this? What should we do in times like this?
So you cannot say like you do this or this or this, you know. So, but now general in Korea, general like energy, like all public energy is like really a lot of anger and disappointment and sadness. And this little bit is okay. If something wrong happens, of course you need a little bit. But if you become completely lost in this, then you become also this, you're not contributing to something like brighter or some better life, but you contributing with all your, saying that how bad is this president, how bad politicians, how bad everything, bad. You're just making, not you personally, but we making just more sad, more angry society.
Yeah.
So it's important what mind is everybody personally can choose what kind of mind they want, but it's very important what you contribute to all this public, because with just one speech to your neighbor, it's already have some effect, and it's go to other person. So important what you input into this in society, even with your speech.
Right. One last question here, because today not only is it Buddha's birthday, but it's also Children's Day. If you could maybe give a message out to the children of Korea, what would you like to say?
It's very difficult. Actually, not only like children and maybe parents together, I would like, because as I see that children really in Korea doesn't have really happy life because of pushing to study.
Right.
So of course for children they need to find more
happiness, more freedom.
but how they can find if they're not allowed to to do childish things?
So more the parents need to listen to this message.
I think more to parents, because children, they are naturally they are happy naturally, and they naturally can be in the moment. Even they don't need even Buddha's teaching anything. They can be in the moment naturally. But we as adults and parents, we need to give them space to do this.
Definitely.
Otherwise, it's very difficult.
Venerable Wonbo, one last question here before I let you go. Very quickly, I can't believe time has already gone by like this. You have requested a particular song, Lee Sun-hee's Destiny 인연. Why this song?
Because I don't know many songs, but this song, I know some songs, but this song is just very magical for me. Of course, words is very deep meaning, but also the voice of singer and melodies, really very magical song. I really like it.
I want to say time has gone by so quick. I want to thank you so much for joining us on this Buddha's birthday, and we really hope to see you again in the near future. And thank you very much for your messages today.
Thank you. I was very happy to be here.